Again. It is Saturday, the 14th of June, 2025. And please look at my earlier video regarding current events, what's going on internationally. I will reiterate and stress, please look at the BB files. I have posted the link to watch it. So there's no excuses on my X platform, on my Facebook, on other different platforms. And I like, especially with what's going on right now in Israel and Palestine and Iran, the Middle East, internationally, it's so important. And I'm just going to be continuing on with Ophiuchus. And so please refer to the other video. I wasn't able to share last time. And so I'm hoping that there's no issues with, okay, good. So this is at least popping up. You can see it. Yeah, so 13 28-day months, approximately 364 days. Yeah. If you force every lunar cycle to be exactly 28 days, a convenient 4-week pattern, then 13 such months total 364 days, just 1 day short of the solar year. So we're looking at 12 times 13. This 12 times 28 scheme nearly divides, it's 28. 13 times 28. 4 quarters of 91 days each, approximately 13 times 7 days of weeks, which is why you sometimes see 13-month, 28-day calendar proposals. True lunations versus constant 28-day months. I just want to make sure I'm off mute. Okay, good. Real lunations vary 29.27 to 29.83 days, around that 29.53 day average. So a 13 times 28-day year actually ends up losing about 15.9 days of true lunar time each year. Yeah, that's what I wanted to say earlier. I didn't mean to say 12 times 13. I way off there. But anyways, I've talked about this in other videos, the 354 days. So conversely, the 12 real lunations total approximately 354.4 days, about 10.8 days short of the solar year. So lunar versus solar. So purely lunar calendars drift through the seasons unless you intercalate or calate. I don't know how you pronounce that. Intercalary months, reconciling lunar and solar. Hebrew calendar, 12 months most years, 354 days, with a 13th month, Adar the second, added 7 times in a 19-year cycle to keep Passover in spring. Chinese lunisolar calendar, 12 months with a leap month inserted roughly every 2 to 3 years, depending on astronomical new moons, to stay aligned with the solar terms. The Islamic calendar, purely lunar, again, depending on what era. 12 lunations, approximately 354 days, with no intercalation. So its months shift through all seasons over a 33-year cycle. What 13 months of 28 days is popular but flawed for true lunar tracking? Sorry, why? Pros, uniform month lengths, easy quartering, neat 3 times 4 equals 52 weeks. Cons, loses about 16 days per year of actual moon phases. So the new moon on month 2 would occur mid-month, not at its start. Okay, so then I asked, okay, what if you do 28-day moon cycles or 27 and a bit for the 12 signs and then add 18 days for the days the moon is in Ophiuchus, that is 354. And then it said you've just rediscovered the classic fact that 12 times 28-day signs plus the moon's extra days in Ophiuchus adds up to the 354-day lunar year that actual lunations give us. Here's the breakdown. It took a long time to get there, but anyway, 12 28-day sign months. So if you simplify each zodiacal sign to a neat 28-day block of the moon's journey, even though a true sidereal lunar month is approximately 27.3 days, then 12 times 28 equals 336 days. Moon in Ophiuchus, 1.5 days every month. So astronomically, the moon spends roughly 1.5 days crossing that 18-degree wide sliver of Ophiuchus each orbit, or each rotation. Over 12 orbits, that comes to about 12 times 1.8, which is approximately 18 days. So total of 336 plus 18 equals 354. This is where I think we have to go with this, with the lunar calendar. So I think the people that are sharing it, I've shared videos before with that guy breaking it down and the 13 months and all that stuff. I think the 13th month is Ophiuchus. And I think it adds in the days the month actually travels through Ophiuchus, not an accident. And this is how they get away with like explaining all these different things and using same numbers, but to explain it in a different way, which is incorrect. Just like the 23.4 degree axis that they're talking about. This is based off the sun's travel path through the tropics, these rings. And anyways, which matches the 12 true lunations of a lunisolar calendar of approximately 354.37 days. Why it matters. Lunisolar calendars, Hebrew, Chinese, Buddhist, etc., build on that 354-day cycle and insert a 13th intercalary month every 2 to 3 years to realign with the 365-day solar year. Purely lunar calendars, Islamic, simply run 12 true lunations, approximately 354 days, without intercalation, so their months drift through the seasons over a 33-year cycle. So thinking of the zodiac as 12 28-day houses plus an Ophiuchus pocket of approximately 18 days gives you exactly the 354 days of the lunar year. That's why many traditions regard 354 as the baseline lunar cycle. Then they add an extra 13th month when needed to catch up with the sun's 365-day course. I was talking about for the moon. Meridians, latitude, 1 degree of latitude is always about roughly 111 kilometers, approximately 69 miles. Yeah, anyway. Stupid questions. Anyway, and then I got into Smart Rich and stuff like that. So, I will see if I can share just because I'm on. But again, I don't subscribe to everything that this person is saying in this video, if it will actually even share. I'm hoping it does. But it's very interesting, and there are some connections that can be learned through this video as well. So I thought it was well done. Anyone?
Hello, this is Thomas Wake.
I do have to bounce off like immediately after this is done, and it took me longer to get on because I had to water the gardens, the plants, and the veggies, and brush the dogs and other things first. Anyway,
With Astro Wake,
and I have some coming at 12:30.
Here we're going to go through a introduction to astrology, and this is going to be a little bit different. It's going to be astrotheology and Kabbalahism and Kundalini yogic, tantric, ancient mystery school mix-up, metaphysical, theosophical. So think about calling this Astro Theosophy. Married on that. Imagine that image from that popular, I believe it was a Pink Floyd album, where it has one beam of light coming in, undifferentiated. Now it hits a pyramid, I think is what it has, and it breaks off into 7 rays of light. 7 colors in our color spectrum, going from red at the bottom to purple at the top, or violet. Now the 7 is tied in with our 7 heavenly luminaries. This will be the closest to us, the moon. What's the glyph for the moon? Mercury, Venus, Mars. Here we are in the middle. Jupiter. The sun. We should put this. Let's put the sun here. Mr. Sun, Mr. Golden Sun, hiding behind the trees. And then we'll put Mars on top of you, followed by Jupiter and then Saturn. Doopity-doopity-doo. There's the 7 characters in our play. The 7 colors of the multicolor coat that we take on when we incarnate into this very being. The moon being the last stop. The Lord of the Rings of the material realm, Saturn, my friends. Also known as Satan, my friends. See, it's nothing to be afraid of. Each of these planets have a good, a positive, and a negative, because we're in the world of duality. We'll go through this in more depth, but here we have to see the sun in the middle, the solar plexus, our solar system. just as we're in a solar system, we have a solar system in us made up of all of this energy. It gets filtered through the sun and the moon, but they're all feeding off the sun. The sun's a life giver in our solar system. And see, Saturn's the farthest away from it. So we have this.
And Saturn being away from it, just because it has it kind of a reverse, but Saturn at the bottom, the first chakra, the root chakra. And the higher up you go, like in the chakras, the colors, the energy systems, whatever you want to call these, the more enlightened and self-actualized we are. And so when he talks about the Saturn being the furthest away, it's because it's like the first. It's basic. And then you get into like the other energy bodies, like I said. And then so the third eye being the sixth chakra connected to the moon. This is where, like the third eye, like when you start getting enlightened and access the higher levels of consciousness, the Christ oil, is secreted, etc. Then that's when, like when you encompass all of these energy systems and it travels up to the brain. That's where you get to the crown chakra, which is the most metaphysical, essentially enlightened being that you could be on this earth plane. And this is the path, the ladder, Jacob's ladder, or whatever you want to call it. Or Santa Claus going through the chimney that we take for our individual enlightenment within this physical realm.
Kind of bow between
the moon being the next step, like the third eye before you access the crown chakra.
The sun and Saturn. The mystics of old said that Saturn actually used to be our sun, and then it got weakened and detrimented and kicked to the outside and put it in freaking a chain. He's kind of detained with that ring around him. What do you have on chains? Rings. That's why you put a ring on your wife's finger.
The sun also travels ring paths. They all do.
Finger, you put her in chains. I used to keep rings around the ear to pull you around by. The rings of Saturn. Saturn is a malefic planet, but it has good aspects of it. It is the grand architect of the Masons. It helps to structure, in charge of government. And then its opposite is Jupiter, also known as Zeus, where we get Jesus from, the beneficent planet. Jesus versus Satan, Jupiter versus Saturn. And then we have the Saturn moon matrix that we're stuck in. And it goes a little something like this. Positive. Remember that triangle that we just had? Well, it's coming back. It's also the glyph for fire. Fire and air. When it has a line, that's air. When it's just a triangle, that's fire. Those are the masculine, male, electric aspects of energy. The female is the upside down chalice.
No.
When we put a line at the bottom, it goes from water into earth.
Not all fire signs are masculine signs, and so you've got here, and I broke it down before, but Leo is seen as a positive masculine sign. Cancer is seen as a negative feminine sign for the duality, the yin and yang. For Mercury, rules over Virgo and Gemini. Virgo being the negative, Gemini being the positive, and Leo is also a fire sign, and so you start with Aries, just so it's easier for me, because again, like there's just so much information that I can pack in this. But Aries is a cardinal fire sign, masculine, positive energy, and so that fire sign. And then after Aries, so after fire, then you have Earth, which is Taurus, and then Gemini, which is air, and Cancer, which is water. I just want to make sure that that's right. Gemini, air. Actually, no, it is. And then you have Leo, and Gemini is also it's a positive masculine air sign. And then in Cancer, then you go into that. Then Leo, and from Libra and Taurus, I already said that Taurus is an earth sign. Earth, air, water, fire, Leo, fire, earth, Virgo, air, Libra, water, Scorpio. No. I had this on a diagram. I should have put it up, but again, this is all, I like doing research sometimes at the same time. Yeah, it's water sign. Yeah, and then let's see where else here. Let me see. Like maybe he is right here. Okay, so the Aries, Leo, Sagittarius, and Sagittarius is that is where it's a positive, yeah, so masculine, and then Pisces being like on the dual side, the negative water sign. Yeah, very interesting. And let me see here. So Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius. What we subscribe to them as characteristics or character traits is irrelevant in this. So, and let me just keep on going, and then it's Sagittarius, and then Capricorn is obviously Earth, and then air, water, fire, and you just keep on going down that list as well through the mutable, cardinal, and fixed signs. So yeah, this is all very interesting. This video is so good. This guy did it. And he has multiple other videos as well, so I highly encourage people to take a look at his work.
Water and earth are the magnetic,
I just have to verify first.
Aspects of this
anyway.
interchange of energy to create matter. So we have our fire and air, our masculine. We put it together with the feminine.
Lucy!
I'm in my backyard. I set this all up in my backyard just to do this. It's kind of a big deal. So we have the positive together with
And I
the
think his dog's Lucy for Lucifer.
negative. We have the Seal of Solomon, the Star of David. This is also going to give us our 6-pointed cube, 6 points, 6 triangles, 6 sides. 666. This is our carbon, 6 electrons, 6 protons, and 6 neutrons. Carbon is what we are in here. And carbon is ruled by Saturn. They have like the same. That's what you find the most of, I think, on the planet. It's crazy.
Well, there's sacred geometry involved in carbon. Carbon actually, like at the molecular, whatever you want to call it, it looks like that hexagram, whatever you want to call it. And Saturn as well. Cymatics possibly being used, frequencies and waves, vibrations to, and it also creates that same sacred geometric pattern or shape. I mean. Would it be a shape? Yeah, I don't know.
And on the top of Saturn, you'll also find a hexagram, which is also a cube, my friends. The very cube of the cobblestone, that is what? It's walked around, just like the rings of Saturn in Mecca. The cobblestone of the Kabbalah. You see, when the Orthodox Jews do prayer, they bind their arms. Saturn binds, in charge of legal contracts and oaths. And then they put a cube on their head and they pray fervently. It's also known in Kabbalahism as Metatron's cube. When we take this cube and we do it again, my friend. Oops, I did it again. Shut up. Bam. And then we coming down here. Bam. This could have been a little bit better. Anyways, so before we had the 6-pointed star, the 6-edged hexagram, and then we put us in the middle. Now we add 6 more.
So even when people graduate, they've got the cube, the black cube on top of their head. And I'm just going to stop sharing just for a moment. I'm going to let him play it because it's so interesting. This is what I was talking about. So this is in that book, I believe it is. But if you look at the hexagon, the pentagon, square, triangle, 120 degrees times 6, 720 degrees. You got the 027, the 720 in there as well. And the golden ratio, phi versus pi. Oh, I just gotta end this here, and then I'll get back to the video.
To it. And we have our 13. Here, when we had the 6, and then we put ourselves in the middle, the sun, our spirit, that gives us our 7 heavenly luminaries. Then we interject another layer on top of that. Bam, bam, bam. bam, 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 bam. We have a cube within a cube. The cube within the cube, it's a positive, imagine that's dark, or that's white, into this, which is dark. And what happens, now we have us in the middle, the Son of God, Christ, Jesus, is surrounded by his 12 apostles, holding 12 posts, the 12 tribes of Israel, the 12 knights of the round table, the 12 months in the year, the 12 hours, AM and PM, the dozen. Now, when this positive and negative come together, we get this. It's known as the torus. So we have our cube, then a cube, and now it's going to give us this great explosion almost. The first sign of Aries, of spring, the first month of the year. After that,
At the horns?
the equinox. Here's the equal level where they meet. This is the field of our matter of existence. Here's the spirit. There's our cross, my friends. This is the 4 directions, the 4 archangels, the 4 elements, the 4 seasons. Not the hotel, not the band. Lucy. Short for Lucifer, which is Venus. We'll get to that later. For the love of everything holy, I'm making a video. I'm working really hard on it. The sign of the cross of matter that the Christ dies on, that we have to die on. Best 5 rappers. Die. Okay. Now we have this electric, what's Aries? The first sign is positive. Electric explosion out the crown chakra. The 7. And then we have 3 on each side, giving us a total for 13. This is also the Masonic drawing board and the Kundalini chakra system and the Kabbalah, and we'll get to that. That's Metatron's cube that we went back to. But now I'm showing you how this works out into the Taurus field. The middle one is our heart chakra, which is green. This is going to be important.
Yeah.
Remember how we talked about the light spectrum getting blown up, put into prism? That's the prison or the prism. Now, bam! Look at this. This is beautiful. I'm so beautiful. Back down to the equator, the land of Earth, and it goes down. It's electric, and then it's magnetic. Takes it back up. Same thing on the other side. Whoop!
Electromagnetic toroidal fields. Could be the shape of an apple, the brain, the hemispheres of the brain.
Oh, look at that. This is beautiful. Here, this creates a centrifugal kind of a system where we have this energy coming up through here. And it's a self-generating battery, pretty much, that we're in. This is everything. This, you might recognize this as an apple. The big apple. Yeah. And we have the whole color spectrum here. I want to put in.
And sound.
I want to put in our start, David. I want to put in our. This is Ezekiel's wheel, which we'll get to further. This is the Merkaba. This is Metatron's cube. It's so beautiful, so fun to draw. Our Christ and his 12 apostles. That's why they have this on our dollar bill. You'll see they have it signed, the seal of Solomon. That's the cage of freaking Saturn. All right. Now what happens is we bring these together. Here's our root chakra. See, these are our 2 paths. You could go the right-hand path, which is the feminine, which is attributed to Boaz, or you could take the path of severity, which is Joachim. And then in the middle is the ladder. So our spinal cord, which is with its 33 vertebrae, where in Golgotha, the skull, the Christ is crucified. This is the middle is the caduceus of Mercury, of Hermes, that you see on EMT trucks and doctors' offices. Look at you. This is the travel of the sun. Bam, Aries season goes up to the top of Cancer, the middle of the summer solstice at its top, at the Tropic of Cancer on the top. Down here in winter, it'll get down to the, as it goes, it has its fall, and then here it falls below in seasonal fall after the middle of Libra. Hey, no, that's unnecessary. Then it falls, the sun falls into Scorpio. Then at the bottom is Capricorn at the Tropic of Capricorn. Here we have, when we bring together the Sephiroth, they're not spheres. These come together in the middle. You take the middle path. These come together in the middle. These come together in the middle. You have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That's our 7 chakras in our chakra system.
That's correct.
The bottom being red. Below that being infrared. We can't see it on ours with our eyes.
Same conclusions. I wish I would have fell on this brick years ago.
And then we have the middle, or the sacral, which is orange.
Yep.
And then we have yellow. Yellow, the sun in our solar plexus. And then we go to the heart chakra, green. And it is represented by a 12-leaf petal. Because, why? Because we have Christ and his 12 disciples. 2 6-pointed stars put together. And green is also the color of Venus. You attribute these to planets like red Mars, orange Jupiter, yellow the sun. Green is Venus. And then we go to blue. Blue moon. We'll attribute that to the moon. I don't know. Or Mercury. And then the top, we'll say that's like a violet, and because above that's ultraviolet, which we can't see, infrared to ultraviolet. And so this is like purple, we'll say, indigo. Which is why purple is when you bring together the red to the blue. It's all about the red-blue shift, black and white. On the Masonic drawing board down here.
I just wanted to make sure it was clear. Mercury's blue, moon is indigo.
It's a checkerboard of duality. Here, you have the left-hand path of severity, which is what the dark occultists do, and you see them pose in pictures with their left hand in their pocket. Lets you know that they're part of the dark occult that goes by the left-hand path, which is attributed to Saturn at the top. You go this way, it's Jupiter. The feminine, related to the moon. This side would be the sun. The active force, electricity. The feminine receptive force of care and compassion. What they do is they take down this
moon, electric, sun, magnetic, or they interact with these fields or these energy bodies more.
Pillar.
Everyone's saying I'm wrong. I don't know. What I've looked into, I could be right, so I'm just going with it.
And they take down this pillar so that we can't climb up in between them, which is this horrible dark cabal sacrificial ritual of 9/11. And the Kabbalah, to the tree of the Sephiroth, which is similar to this, they have 10 Sephiroth, which are the spheres. And it's a model of this. And they say it's not 9, it's not 11. To say that it's not 10, but 9/11, or 11, 9/11. And then from 10, we get Satan. Whenever you say 10, you're saying Satan. That's all right. Now let's go into the astrology of this for part 2. We'll come back for part 2 because this gives us. We shoot off from here. Here's our cross, our equator, the material, the spiritual. Then we cut this pie into our 12 sections, the 6 and the 6, and we get our zodiac wheel.
Yes, we do.
Aries being the first house.
Yeah.
let's count them up. It goes Aries, Taurus, Gemini, Aries, Taurus, Gemini, Cancer. Well, we're going to do part 2, and we're going to get into the zodiac next. Let's take a break. That's a lot.
Yeah, it is a lot. He's not wrong. It is so much because there's no frame of reference really. And anyways, I'm glad I came upon his work because like we are coming to the same conclusions, very, very close. And I think we're onto something. And so on that note, I really encourage people to look at again the BB files. Donate whatever you need to do. These people are literally risking their lives to get this information out there. And look at my earlier video discussing what's going on in the U.S. and internationally, and who's involved. And so on that note, I will leave it at that. And I hope that everyone has a wonderful rest of your day.